Hello everyone, Fuzz here, and welcome back once again to Final Fantasy VIII. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off previously, which was with Laguna, Kiros and Ward here, and we're going to continue on with our hunt for Ellone. So, as always, if you wish to support me, please do go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the like button for this video, and also check out my Facebook FuzzfingerGaming fan page as well. I do try and keep that updated regularly with what's going on. So without any further ado, we're going to head back into the previous area here, where we trigger a very small one dialogue box scene. And before we head over to the lift, we're just going to grab the Weapons Monthly first issue, which is lying on the floor. And we're going to head on back down to the previous area that we were imprisoned in. And this time, Dr. Odine, whatever his name is going to be waiting for us. So let's go and ask him where Ellone is. And the security guards are going to be coming back to us. And we're going to be thrust into battle. Make sure you are prepared for this battle by having both the mug ability available, as well as I recommend the level up ability, because this Elastoid is going to be quite useful for us to get a couple of things from. So we're going to go ahead and kill these nobodies first of all. And when we've done that, we're going to try and level, and we'll see what level this guy is first. Okay, he's not high level yet, because when he's high level, he has Meltdown, which is very important because it's a great magic to draw, for starters. And not only that, but we can now mug from him a very important laser cannon, which we can give to Quistis to give her the homing laser limit ability, which is very, very powerful. So Laguna is actually stocked up on Meltdowns. Make sure you have enough space as well in order to do your drawing. So we'll start mugging, get that laser cannon. Might have to do that a couple of times. Hopefully we won't kill him. If we do kill him, then it'll probably be worth just reloading the save game in order to try again. There we go, got the laser cannon, which means now we can just start drawing magics, Meltdowns, and I'll be back with you once I've stocked up on Meltdown. Okay, battle over, and it's not particularly challenging, even though I boosted that guy up by 22 levels or so. Although it might be worth levelling him down again afterwards if you're not after the experience. And Odine will run off. So we're going to follow him back and catch him in the elevator. And we're going to follow him outside. Okay, so it looks like we've found the place that we've just been told about. And we could see those Esthar soldiers creeping up from above, which we are now forced into battle with. Still, these guys aren't all that hard, really, are they, if we're going to be brutally honest about the situation? especially with our very high strength stats, since we've got some good magics now. Meteors, Ultimas, Tornadoes, Meltdowns, Flares, you name it. We're equipping it. Right then. Let's grab this draw point. If I can just get the angle right. Double? Can anyone actually get double? No, didn't think so. I'm pretty sure we're already maxed out upon it. But now we're going to head to the door on this side. And it's not going to open. So once we've done that, we'll head to the pedestal thing in the centre here. And off we go. And we can just head straight through into the next area here. And another fight. This is going to be our final fight with these three characters at this point. And as usual, it was easy. Well, when I say as usual, I mean when we're fighting the soldiers. The soldiers in this game are very weak, aren't they? I mean, the Gabardine soldiers are the worst, but when you're ready, then you can just come and examine this console over here. We don't seem to be finding Ellone at the moment, do we? Once we've examined the console, we need to head back. Only this time, that door that we couldn't open before should now be accessible. At least that's the theory. That's the theory. Oh, maybe I missed something. Let me find out. Try and examine this console again. Oh, that's better. I must have hit the wrong part of it because it did say error, didn't it? That was me yabbering and not really paying attention. But now we can access that door. Just a little brief detour. Just to show you what happens if you don't press that button correctly. You see, it's all part of the plan. And there it is, completely and utterly evaporated. And when you're ready, you can head through here and this will kick off the final collection of scenes. And we're once again back with our party here. And we get some more scenes before being put back in control of school. So this is our first real view, well apart from the cinematic earlier on, but our first in-game view of the city of Esthar. Sounded very posh, didn't it? Esthar. We'll just call it Esther. But this is certainly a major area of the world, as we can see. And here comes Dr. Odine. Okay. So we can have a chat to some of the people around here, but we're just going to head out first of all. We get told where we need to go to next. And it's quite a bit of a confusing place this is. So we just have to get our bearings really before we do anything. One thing we can do is challenge Odine to cards, and he has the ward card, but I do want to save before we do that. We're going to start by heading to the right here, which is the way we can leave the presidential palace. We come to one of these strange devices, which don't seem particularly safe if you ask me, but there we go. And then we get a nice little cutscene as we make our way out of the actual palace area. And then we move on to the next screen where we get a bit of an intersection. And we're going to start by heading left. Just see what this draw point is here. I don't think it's anything too exciting though. Probably won't be able to grab it. Okay, it's Blizzard if you need that. And I think we're going to start by heading this way. And I don't think we need to talk to this guy, but we'll say hello anyway. Riki. A little bit bizarre. And then we can talk to the presidential aide. Okay, that's all he says. But now we're going to head back to the palace. Once we've spoke to him. And now if we head back into this area here, we can speak to this guy and she, will drop this occult fan 4. And now we're again going to leave the palace. So as I said, it's all a little bit confusing, but it will get everything done for us by following these kinds of paths that I'm showing you, which is really what we want to do. So we do have to watch this cutscene each time, unfortunately. So we're going to head left again. I am doing it in this order because it means we don't miss items then. and we're going to head left again. So similar path that we took previously. We need to talk to this guy here. He doesn't actually say anything interesting, but by speaking to him now, we'll be able to collect the Combat King number 4 a little bit later. Once we've spoken to the soldier, I'm just going to show you where there's a save point, which is just down on the next screen. It's important that we save at this point so that we can go and play the guy at cards. Once we've advanced the story, we can't play Dr. Odine at cards to win the ward card. So I do recommend that we do that now before we go any further. So save your game, and then we'll head back to Dr. Odine. Okay, so here I am now playing against Odine, and hopefully we shouldn't have too much of a problem trying to win this game. But you never know, so I'm going to take things a little bit carefully. And looks like we should be sorted here. Collecting the ward card from him. You play with central rules, by the way. Well, at least, you know, he wants you to mix those rules, so just bear that in mind. Which isn't a big deal for me. That's just adding the elemental rule into this region. And then having open, and of course I've got all. So that's all pretty good. But with that done, we've now got another card added to our collection in the ward card. And now we're going to start heading over to the east to do some shopping. There's a bunch of new shops that have become available in Esthar here. And we're going to want to add those to our Tombury collection, of course. So we're going to go over and visit them. And I'll show you where they all are. But first, we just need to get through all the good old cinematics and stuff. So that looks like fun, doesn't it? And for the first time, we're going to be heading over to the other side. Just a rude soldier standing in the way there. From this screen, to get to the shopping mall, we can just head over to this here, and if you speak to that NPC just below, he'll tell you that you only want to use this if you want to exit the city. And although this does take us to the exit, we can go via the shopping mall. And then we just sit down and somehow magically not fly off as we make our way through the skyway system. And here we are. So we want to make sure we select Get Off. And as I say, there's a whole bunch of shops here. I believe about 5 shops. So we want to make sure that we do interact with them all. Got a few interesting shops here. Look at that cloud shop. That's interesting. Johnny's shop. I think there's 5 shops in total we can find. But we can access them all, which is interesting. So we'll start off with the store here. And you can purchase a lot of the scrolls that you might need if you haven't learned those abilities on your Guardian Forces. But only get them if those Guardian Forces can learn them naturally. Interestingly, you can collect the Pararist, Force Armlet and Hypno Crown. Again, you know, if your Guardian Forces can naturally learn those abilities, then go ahead and purchase them. So the other things you might want to get are Pet Pals Volume 5 and Pet Pals Volume 6. Go ahead and purchase those. And then you can just go around the shops and see whatever else it is that you want to purchase in on this particular lovely shopping morning. Couple of things to note is that you might find that 1 or 2 of these shops are closed. It is random what happens. There's a probability that they could be closed when you reach them, in which case you'll have to revisit the area in order to try and get them to open again. But the ones that are closed do give you an item. Now, one of those shops is Cheryl's store, which has a chance of giving you the Rosetta Stone, which is a super powerfully rare item since it teaches the ability times 4 for a character, and it's very hard to get. But sadly, you know, we haven't been able to get it on this occasion, but it is worth trying for, you know, resetting and then seeing if you can have any good luck with it. Okay, I finally got the Rosetta Stone. I had to come to Cheryl's store, leave the area, then come back to Cheryl's store about 25 times. But then it's still closed, but you do get the Rosetta Stone item, which is very, very powerful. And you really, really do want to get this because it is super rare. Now, Cheryl's store will always be closed, but make sure you visit all the other shops at least once, because you want to be able to unlock them as part of Tombury's Cool Shop. So now if we just leave this area, or just, you know, come into the menu, go to Ability, go to Cool Shop, we can see all these Esthar shops have now been added, which is pretty much what we wanted to see. Okay, and we actually have a bit of a guild trick now. If you remember back in a previous episode, I showed you how you could make unlimited gil. Well, you can do the same trick again, only this time you can make even more gil. So long as you have haggle and sell high, you can make 352,500 gil of profit each time you do this trick, and it should only take a minute or so. So what you want to do is enter the Esthar shop, and you can do this at any point now, as long as you have Tombury, of course, with Cool Shop. And you'll also make money even if you don't have sell high or haggle, but I do recommend that you get those as soon as possible. Then you can purchase tents, just go for the maximum amount, and cottages. Okay, so we spent a little bit of gil there, fair enough, I know, but we are going to make that back. Then we're going to go to recovery medicine, and we can turn our new tents into mega potions and our new cottages into mega potions. Okay, I've already got 100, that's fine, that's fine. It'll still show you how the trick's going to work. And if we go back to Cool Shop, back to the Esthar shop, we can now sell our mega potions for lots and lots of money. Look at that, over 1 million gil now. And we just head back to buy, stock up on tents and cottages, and repeat the trick as many times as we so want. Head back to recovery medicine, and again, you haven't got to do this here. You can, you know, do it any point in the game where you can open the menu and access your abilities. But that's pretty much it, to be honest. You could just keep making those mega potions and selling them to make lots of money. It's a little bit annoying, in all honesty, that it seems to be putting my mega potions right at the end of the list when I make them. But it's not a really big problem. I've got over 2 million gil now, just after 2 or 3 attempts at, well, 2 or 3 goes at selling all that stuff. And just going through that routine and rigmarole. So it is a good money maker, this is. You know, you've got unlimited gil now, well, you did before, but even more, so now it's easy to get, and your seed rank really doesn't matter all that much in terms of giving you gil. It's such a minuscule amount compared to, you know, buying and selling and refining the stuff that you can do. So a couple of other items that I want to mention to you. First of all, the Royal Crowns and the the Pararists even, and the Hypno Crowns from the pet shop here, which we saw earlier. Okay, the Pararist and the Hypno Crowns. You can refine those with tool refinement into aura stones, and you can turn that into the with the magic refinement into aura magic. So you can actually stock that out now on your characters, which is particularly useful. You can also, I may as well mention, refine Adia's card into 3 Royal Crowns, Ward card, which we just collected, into 3 Gaia's rings, and also we can purchase giant rings from this guy. There they are, look, and they're 20,000 gil each if you don't have the haggle ability, but you can refine those down into 60 protects magics if you need protect, and if you want shell magic, you can do the same thing with Force Armlet. You can get that down into 60. Incidentally, you can actually purchase elixirs from the other shop that we were purchasing from a moment ago. This one. They are quite expensive, but you can refine elixirs if you have 10 of them into Mega Elixir. Now, we've already maxed out our Elixir stock, but I'm going to show you a little trick later on to get 100 Mega Elixirs really quite quickly. So don't bother doing that unless you really want Mega Elixirs at this stage of the game. But anyway, make sure you stock up on any of those magazines that you're missing. You know, Pet Shop Volume 5 and Volume 6. A couple of the Combat Kings as well, these shops have. So just double check those. Combat Kings 4 and 5, I think, from the bookstore. But really, that's pretty much all we need to do in Esthar for the time being. We're going to be making our way out of the city now at this point. Aura Magic, by the way, is fantastic to junction to your strength stat and your health stat. So I do highly recommend that you get 100 on each of your main characters. And because of the unlimited guild trick, there's no reason not to at this particular point in the game, in all honesty. So you don't have to use the weird lift thing in order to leave the city. You could just run to the next screen, south from where we were, bring you back here. What an incredible city. Bit of a glitchy city as well, if they don't mind my saying so. We can rent a car if we wish to do so for 3,500 gil. Although it really doesn't matter. I don't even know why I've done so, but you know, at least you can see what it is. You will need fuel in order for the ability to rent the car. And that will take us out of the city itself. Okay, as you can see, the world map is quite peculiar at this stage. We are stuck on roads, kind of in the air. And we have to manoeuvre our way around, which is interesting. But there we have it. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish off the episode here. I hope it's been helpful to you and that you've enjoyed it. I know that Esthar can be a little bit of a confusing place, but, you know, we got through it together. So our next destination is going to be the Laguna Gate. But, you know, we'll obviously pick that up next time. So thanks for joining me, guys. And come back soon as we continue on with Final Fantasy VIII. Bye for now.